welcome back to
the Zak
and Buzz
Review.
So in this video we're going to discuss our
top 5 reasons we love going to the cinema. Woo! Okay, so let's start off with number 5.
Yeah.
Actually being able to go and see new movies, like, you know, literally going that moment you're booking the tickets.
Exactly. The cinema experience really starts from that point where you book the tickets.
Yeah. And it's not just new movies.
That is it's a very good point, because cinema now has become so popular that they're actually screening old movies, and they've actually caught on to the fact that old movies are actually a good thing to put on the screen again.
Because there's plenty. I mean, take for example movies that were made before you were born.
Exactly.
Predator. You would never have gotten the opportunity to see those movies.
I mean, the original Star Wars movies for anniversary screenings.
Yeah.
Like, back in those days, you never would have expected that these films would have endured so long to then go back onto the cinema screens.
I mean, when I went to the cinema, at my local cinema was one screen. You had like a week, maybe 2 weeks, depending on how popular the movie was, to see that movie.
Yeah.
Once it was gone, it was gone.
That's it.
And you were never going to see it again.
Exactly.
And if you were lucky, you might see it on a terrestrial TV channel about 4 years after it was released, if you were lucky.
And of course, new movies, you have such like a catalogue of new things coming out, almost on like a weekly, monthly basis.
Also, I would say the choice you've got as well.
And new movies, you don't have to watch everything, but you do have the choice to watch what you want to watch.
And they're also doing other things, because they're broadcasting like theatre, stage shows and things like that.
That is very true.
So yeah, it's the actual going, booking, and having the choice of going out for the evening or for the day or whatever. So that was our number 5. Number 4 is you've got a choice these days of how you watch the movie. That
is actually okay. So back in the day, I remember the days where it was simply just a cinema screen.
Yeah.
Now you've got IMAX, 4DX, Screen X, numerous
3D.
other 3D,
3D.
Real D,
So you could actually have a completely different experience watching a movie that you never had before.
Exactly.
And of course, that kind of experience you're not going to get at home.
Exactly, you're never going to be able to have that at home.
I remember seeing recently a movie. We've mentioned it many times, Godzilla -1. Saw that in IMAX, blew my socks off.
Yeah,
absolutely loved it.
The enhanced sound, the aspect ratio, it was just such a wonderful experience that it's something that's going to go down in my memory.
Yep, so that's our kind of 5, 4. So now we're at number 3 of why we absolutely love going to the cinema.
Yeah.
And that is allocated seating.
Yes.
It makes such a difference.
Yeah.
Do you know, back in my day, we used to have to literally go to the cinema, get a ticket. It wasn't allocated, so you had to queue up.
First come, first served.
Because you have those lovely, sweet little spots you want to sit in the theatre. And if you end up at the back of the queue, you end up in the front row, right over to the side, where you really don't want to be. You know, so and it used to be. I used to queue up for ages, waiting to hopefully get the best seats.
Exactly.
But of course,
were you ever turned away from?
Oh, that was another thing as well. If you queued up and then the cinema became full because it was a brand new popular film, you could literally be waiting there and getting to the front of the queue, and they say, "Sorry, we're full."
Did that ever happen to you?
Yes, at least once. Wow. And it's like, oh. Damn.
But now that anxiety is completely gone, because you can choose
just get on your phone
exactly where you want to sit. If it's full, choose another screening of the film.
Yeah,
absolutely fine.
And that's great, because you can just get on your phone and choose the seats and everything. And it's just that's
so intuitive.
Allocated seating.
It is audience friendly.
Yeah, that's great. So that's our number 3. Our number 2 on our list is the unlimited subscription that you can have these days.
Now that is very interesting, because initially on the unlimited subscription for Cineworld, it kind of felt like you didn't want to commit to it.
Yeah, now let's put it in perspective. Going to the cinema these days, and it does depend on, as we said before, how you're going to see the movie, because you might choose IMAX or 4DX,
etc.
And they're going to cost you more than just going to standard 2D showing.
Exactly.
But on average, Well, how much is Cineworld? Is about
So-
15 quid a ticket?
Yeah, a standard adult ticket is kind of in that.
Around the 15 to 17 pound a ticket.
Yeah.
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 And so that's quite expensive when you are going like yourself, with your partner, or with a friend, or a group of you.
To put this into perspective, if you're going with a group, you're gonna end up spending what, 50 odd quid if it's a small group.
You know, oh, easy. I mean, you
Easy, and that's before you've bought any like concessions. Or gone out for dinner afterwards.
However, now that they've brought in the unlimited option, for under £20
a month,
you can watch as many screenings,
as many films,
movies,
as many times as you want
in any calendar month. Plus, they have other things. They have discounts on
10% discount for the first year. Then after the first year, you get 25% off concessions,
Yeah,
which is a massive
I
saving.
will point out we don't work for Cineworld.
We do not.
But they also have unlimited for unlimited members special showings where it's only actually available
Advanced screenings.
advanced screenings for unlimited members, and that's for under £20. You can just see as much as you want to see.
It's up to you to make as much of this kind of
Yeah.
subscription as you want. Much like a streaming service where you're given a catalogue of films to watch,
Yeah.
which are not always guaranteed to be there. That is the
Exactly.
thing with
They
streaming.
they do remove them.
Whereas with the cinema, you do have the opportunity to watch as many things as many times as you want.
I think what it takes the sting out of, okay, for me, and that is that sometimes you can say, okay, this is not going to be cheap, you know, for it's just under 60 quid for three of us to go, okay, and so you decide, do I want to go and see this movie?
Yeah.
You know, do I want to go and spend that money on a movie? And you can go and spend that money on a movie and go, ooh, do you know, I think I just wasted all that money.
Well, that's exactly the point. The fact is, you can then afford to see films you wouldn't normally see.
Exactly. So you go and watch.
For instance, to put us into perspective, we probably wouldn't have gone and seen Immaculate, Imaginary, Out of Darkness.
Yeah, I would have put those all down to wait for it to come out.
Potentially even Monkey Man. We wouldn't have gone to see that.
Yeah. You see, you got. I used to have a list, or the way I sort of listed movies. There'd be movies that I would go and see where I say that is a movie I am definitely going to go and see.
I'm not going to miss that. That's a Godzilla movie.
Yeah, Godzilla, or you know, Avatar. I like the Avatar movies. You know, I'm going to go and see that at the cinema, or it might be a Star Wars movie, or you know, any
Just the go-to things that you just can't miss.
An Aliens movie,
Exactly.
something like that. I'm going to go and see the big blockbusters, and then I'd have the ones that were kind of like in between. I'll watch the trailers, see if they appeal to me. If they appeal to me enough, like, for example, there's one out at the moment, at the time we're recording this, which is called Borderlands. And I think, that looks alright. I'll go and watch it. Don't know what it's going to be like till we do a review on it, but there you go. And then there's other movies, like you just said, with Immaculate and Imaginary, where I'll probably go, yeah, I'm not going to bother. Yeah. I ain't going to spend the cinema money.
We're talking typical run-of-the-mill kind of horror movies.
Yeah.
So, again, you'd still be paying that, like, quite a pricey label to get a ticket for, but now you can go and watch as many of those as you want.
Well, let's put it in perspective. We said it's like £15, £17 for a ticket, for a ticket to watch a movie once, but you could spend less than that on buying a Blu-ray and watch it as many times as you like, plus have all the extras you get on physical media.
Exactly.
So yeah, it was a no-brainer. However, if your cinemas, and I don't know about other ones because our local, as we say, is Cineworld, but if your local cinemas have a kind of a
subscription
membership card, well worth
make
a try.
use of it. Yes.
So that's our number 2, because that's really changed
the game
when it comes to us going and enjoying one of our most favourite things.
Initially, when they started doing that, we were sceptical at first.
Yeah.
And we only relatively recently got it this year.
Were we going to use it enough?
And how many times have we gone to the cinema? To put this into perspective for you, I'm just going to get up and go over here.
He's going. A bit of interaction.
A bit of interaction. So, to put this into perspective, this is just how many times we've been to the cinema this year.
I probably would have had 2 tickets before.
So, yeah, this is all of our tickets respectively, but imagine how much
that would have cost.
This would have cost
if you were going and paying individually.
Paying individually.
Oh, Well, you never have done it.
Exactly.
So there you go. So that's our number 2 benefit of reasons we now love even more going to the cinema. But our number 1,
The big
number one, and it has to be for us the main reason. It is the cinema experience itself.
Of course.
The fact that you're in this theatre with a massive screen,
Yeah.
the best kind of surround sound. You know, the subwoofers usually knock you sideways. It's the whole experience. It's the going out. Everything.
You've chosen it. You want to see it. You go in there. You're sitting down in your seating. You're watching a thing you want to see. You can switch off for 2 hours or whatever, and just have fun.
But it's kind of like that. You know, did you see Star Wars at the cinema in 1977? Yes, I did. Yeah, it's a moment that you can remember when it's when it becomes an iconic movie.
When I look back at these tickets, I tend to put the tickets in the DVDs, the Blu-rays, the whatever, when I get them after the fact. And when I open that disc box, I can then flash back. I remember that experience.
Yeah, and you can
for
say,
good or bad.
Yeah, so if it is, as I say,
mostly good.
If it is a really good movie,
if it's a really good movie,
then
that's
you can
something
look back and say, in years to come, your own kids might say, "Oh, did you see that at the cinema?"
Yes, I did, me boy.
Yes, I did. I saw that when it first came out.
So am I going to sound like that?
It's not the same as saying, "No, I waited for it to come out on DVD," or "I watched it on streaming."
We're going to have to do a top 5 streaming things
on my 32-inch flat screen. But that's the thing. When I say it's the cinema experience, it is the fact that we have our own home cinema system. We got what was that, 55-inch? We got in front of us here.
55-inch 4K TV.
TV with surround sound, all the
bells and whistles,
and that's great for watching stuff on. Don't get me wrong, but it isn't the same as being in the theatre. And there is also,
I mean, practically, you're not going to be able to put like a 1,000-inch screen in front of you.
Yeah, yeah. I know some people have got like mega home setups, but that's the few against the many, and the many are the ones that tend to have like 32-inch TV, HD TV. The other thing to do with the experience is long gone are the days of having the celluloid projectors. Where I mean, the last and the worst experience I had with a normal projector was watching. It was the Harry Potter movie where they have the Quidditch World Cup.
Oh, wow!
Which I can't think of the name of.
Oh, it's Goblet of Fire.
Goblet of Fire, and I went in there and I watched it, and it was blurred. The focus wasn't brilliant on the screen, and it also you'd get flicks of dust and dirt and hairs on it. Like this. I complained on that one and got the usual, we're sorry about that, there's not really anything we can do about it, kind of thing. I was really disappointed, but of course now it's all digitally projected, so it's the best kind of picture you're going to get at the cinema anyway. So it is our number 1. The reason we love going to the cinema is that unbelievable cinema experience.
Now, another thing I want to add here is the fact that there are certain films or certain types of film where you do get a positive kind of almost collective audience reaction.
Yeah, and that's the thing. When we do our reviews, I love the fact that we review for the audience.
I've noticed several occasions, especially in horror movies of all things, where something like a jump scare of some kind has happened on screen.
You suddenly get a scream.
You suddenly get that like communal jump scare that you would never be able to experience in any other way.
The sudden intake of breath,
Yeah. Or, okay, so we're going to go big scale now. IMAX screening of Spider-Man No Way Home. As soon as Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire pop on screen, that nobody was expecting, everyone wanted, but nobody was expecting when or how it was going to happen. As soon as they popped on screen, it was like, yes! And, like,
yeah, that was great.
Experiencing that was just so crazy considering normally, like, that would be considered like the most horrendous form of interruption going. But being part of that collective, being part of that experience,
all enjoying
that same moment and that fandom of that film, it was just amazing to be a part of it.
Yeah. Godzilla -1. It was the last movie that I saw where the whole audience at the end of the actual cinema.
Yeah.
Full round of applause for that. You know, it's everybody like this, wiping the tears away. I've said it before, and yeah, that was brilliant, and that is the cinema experience encapsulated there, and you know, right there.
If you enjoyed this review, please like and subscribe to the channel and comment below any suggestions of further reviews you'd like to see.
And if you've got any top 5 of reasons why you love going to the cinema, pop them in the comments. See you in the next one.